They marched into the mist and vanished. A full Roman legion, thousands of elite, battle-hardened soldiers, wiped from history without a trace. No bodies, no graves, no records, just whispers of betrayal, brutal ambushes, and something even darker lurking in the northern frontiers of Britannia. For centuries, historians have debated the fate of the Ninth Legion. Was it annihilated by barbarian warriors in a battle so devastating that Rome buried the truth? Did it rebel and desert, choosing exile over the emperor's wrath? Or did it meet an end so terrifying that even the legions of Rome dared not speak of it? What we do know is this: whatever happened to the Ninth shook the empire to its core, forcing Rome to rethink its entire strategy in the region. But hidden among ancient manuscripts and forgotten accounts lie clues that may finally reveal what truly happened. In today's video, we're diving deep into the mystery of the Ninth Legion. We'll analyze secret documents, unravel the political intrigue, and uncover the battlefield tactics that may have led to its destruction. And by the end, you might just see why this single event shattered Rome's confidence and changed the course of history forever. If you love unraveling ancient mysteries and exploring the hidden truths of history, make sure to like this video and subscribe. That way, you won't miss any of the incredible stories that shaped the world as we know it. Now, let's uncover the truth behind one of Rome's greatest unsolved disappearances. Rome was a land power, unmatched in its ability to wage war on solid ground. But when the First Punic War broke out, it faced an entirely new kind of enemy, one that ruled the sea. The Carthaginians had been masters of naval warfare for centuries, while Rome had no real fleet to speak of. When Roman forces first attempted to engage at sea, their inexperience led to a humiliating disaster. At the Battle of Lipari in 260 BC, an entire squadron of Roman ships was trapped and captured without a fight. The Romans had entered a war they did not yet know how to win. But Rome had never been a civilization that accepted defeat. Instead of backing down, they did what they did best, adapting and learning from their enemies. They realized that the war would not be won with traditional brute force alone. To defeat Carthage, they needed to find a way to turn naval combat into something they could control. But how do you fight a war on water when you have no experience at sea? Rome's answer came not from ingenuity, but from sheer luck. A Carthaginian warship had washed up on the shores of Italy, and Roman engineers wasted no time studying every inch of it. They reverse-engineered the design, producing more than 100 ships in record time. However, the real game-changer was not in copying Carthaginian ships, but in adding a critical modification: the corvus, a boarding bridge that turned sea battles into land battles. Suddenly, naval combat was no longer about maneuvering or ship speed. It became a brutal contest of hand-to-hand combat, where Roman soldiers excelled. When Rome finally tested this innovation at the Battle of Mylae, the results were staggering. Carthage, so confident in its naval supremacy, was caught off guard as Roman soldiers swarmed their decks, seizing ships one by one. For the first time, Rome had won a major battle at sea. But while this victory shocked the world, it also raised an unsettling question. Had Rome truly mastered naval warfare, or had it simply found a temporary advantage? With its new fleet and growing confidence, Rome pressed forward, expanding its naval dominance. However, controlling the sea was not just about winning battles. It required something Rome had little experience with: endurance. Unlike Carthage, whose sailors had spent generations navigating treacherous waters, Rome's newly built fleet was fragile, its sailors untested. Victory had come quickly, but that did not mean Rome was invincible. When storms hit the Mediterranean, hundreds of Roman ships were lost, sometimes more than in actual battles. Over time, these disasters proved that Rome's greatest weakness was not the enemy, but the sea itself. Yet Rome refused to retreat. Even as they lost fleets to tempests and struggled to maintain their dominance, they continued pushing forward. Controlling the seas was no longer just about beating Carthage. It had become an obsession. But at what cost? As Rome expanded its naval power, it was no longer just fighting a war. It was building an empire that would demand more than just victories on the battlefield. And once Rome had tasted true dominance, there was no turning back. But could it hold on to what it had gained? Rome's rise as a naval power reshaped the ancient world, but it came at a cost few could have foreseen. In defeating Carthage, Rome did not just win a war, it changed its own identity. No longer a land-based republic focused on local conquests, it had become a maritime empire, stretching its influence far beyond Italy. But with great power came even greater risks. Maintaining control over vast waters required resources, organization, and an understanding of naval logistics that Rome was still struggling to develop. And with each expansion came new enemies, internal strife, and unforeseen consequences that would shape the course of history. Rome had started as an army that knew nothing about the sea. In a few short decades, it had built a navy from scratch and defeated the greatest maritime power of the time. But was this truly a victory, or had Rome set itself on a path it could never escape? Once a republic content with its borders, Rome had now become something much larger, something far more ambitious. And as history would later prove, ambition is never without its price. What happens when an empire expands beyond what it was ever meant to control? Rome's ambition knew no bounds, but with every expansion came new challenges, demanding leaders who could rise above chaos and shape history. One such man was Spurius Ligustinus, a soldier who defied fate and carved his name into legend. How did he turn the tide of battle and earn more honors than any other Roman warrior? Click here to uncover the incredible journey of Rome's most decorated soldier.